Father, we thank you for tonight's session. We thank you for the first day of this conference. We ask for understanding. We ask for insights. Father, I commit everyone in this conference, both those here and those still joining. We ask for the spirit of understanding. Spirit of God, we welcome you. You are the spirit of truth. You are the spirit of understanding. Come and help everyone understand what they need to apply after this conference is done. We ask for insight, we ask for your presence to go with us, and we ask for a sound mind to know what's to work on. Thank you, Father, Lord, because you have heard us. For in Jesus' mighty name I've prayed. Amen. All right, this conference is the title of this conference is how to start, and I I think I teach it at least once a year because it's very, very important. There are a lot of people that want to build. You understand? Maybe you're probably hearing people saying, "Oh, this is how to make money online," and you don't know how to start. Some people know how to start. Some people issue that they truly don't know how to start because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of information coming to them at once, and some of those information are intermediate, some are beginners, some are advanced. So they don't know how to go about picking what they need to do. So that's the purpose of this conference. I'm going to focus on the core foundational things you need to get started. And there's something very, very important that I like highlighting, which is that for I know you see a lot of messages on social media of how tech is the new oil, you understand? And you now feel that, oh, if I'm not doing tech, then I don't know what I'm doing. You understand? So I always try to make it clear. If it's shoemaking that you are good at, and some people are passionate for that, if it's carpentry that you love and you're passionate about, focus on your carpentry and become very, very good in it. Then learn how to use the internet to build your brand, get more customers, grow your awareness for that your carpentry business. Everybody must not learn how to code. Everybody must not learn how to design or write blog posts or create newsletters and all that. So no matter what it is you're passionate about, understand first of all that is what it is very, very valid. There is no way that you can't make money. There's no business that can make you a millionaire. You understand? So the most important thing is understanding that okay, this is what I love doing. Okay, I'm hearing about this internet stuff. Okay, how can I leverage the internet to make more money from this my business? Then you will learn that okay, do I need to open an Instagram account for my carpentry workshop? Do I need to you understand? So there are a whole lot of things that you can do. So I wanted to establish that so that you don't feel that, oh, if I'm not doing tech, then what I'm doing does not really matter. You understand? It's very, very important that I pointed that out. I don't want you to go through all the days of this conference and you're not thinking, oh, how did you didn't even talk about what I do? Are you sure that it matters or it's concerned? Yes, every single business, even if you are like selling hammer or you're selling stockings, you can leverage the internet, and it does not mean you should abandon it and start learning how to code. Because sometimes I might probably end up using more examples about coding or whatever, but it does not make what you are doing less valid. You understand? Because what I believe that the day to day, the journey is what is greater than the destination. So if you don't also love what you do and you're just pursuing for the sake of money, you will never have this is the kind of fulfillment you will never get. So I thought to point that out. Very, very important. So let us start. So today I'm going to be unpacking two things. I'm going to be unpacking two things today. And the two things I'm going to be unpacking is first of all, starting from the foundation, which is what goal setting. You understand? I start from the foundation of goal setting because the secret to everything is goal setting. So this is a new year. You probably enter in the new year and you are written a list of 10 things to do or five. I need to start working out more. You understand? And more this year. I need to learn this particular skill this year. And you write it down and you're feeling so what excited and like very, very what this thing, very, very happy about that goal. And what? Okay, wow, I didn't. Okay, it's I kind of thought that everybody here knew. I forgot that this is a conference. So thank you for that, Lady November. All right, so my name is Ajulu. Uh, I'm a community marketing expert, and I also talk about growth, personal growth. So I've been building a brand on the internet since January 2017. I've I've taught a lot of people on how to build their brand. I'm the chief operations officer of Abit Network, a blockchain-based company, and I also work with other brands also. So I think that covers my bio. So you know more about me as this conference goes this thing on. So what community marketing experts so simply means is that I teach people how to use content and community to get customers or clients. So that's basically what I do. So that's the simple explanation. All right, going back to what I was talking about, the first about goals. So on January 1st, I wrote an article that actually caused a lot of stir. And the funny thing that I didn't set out to write that article on January 1st. I was just in the village eating rice, eating chicken, and was just boiling. But something inspired me to write that article on January 1st, and it's my top article so far for this season. A lot of people read it daily. I've gotten a lot of new messages from it. And what in that article, I was hitting at something that is what at the heart of what everything that has to do with goal setting. You understand? And I was trying to point out the fact that what it's not just about setting goals, you understand, but what is about what understanding that what the goals that you set also matters. You have to set it right because goals are the foundation of everything. You understand? Goals are the foundation of everything. If your goal setting is affected, there's a ripple effect. It gives a ripple effect on every other thing. Because if you don't go about the goal setting process right, then your ability to build certain things is going to be affected. So that's why I wanted to point that out. And it came from the aspect of what I also touched earlier, for the fact that what does what that goal you have set for this year, why did you set those goals? Did you set those goals because they are genuinely something that you believe that you can do, or something that's what you that comes naturally to you? Or did you set the goal because you just look around and everybody is doing this thing and you believe that what I have to do this? That's why I also talked about earlier that what it's not about what you do, but your ability to market what you do. So don't neglect your unique talent and gifts just because you want to jump on a trend. So we probably have seen people talking about software development is the new oil, or affiliate marketing is the new oil, and you want to abandon what you are doing currently because there's no easy way to make money. The amount of years to take it to or months to take it to building, and you still everything takes time. I am always conscious of that thing when I sell my courses. I always add it in the marketing copy that if you're not ready to take action, please don't buy this course. Because a lot of people think that it's buying courses helps them see results. No, the result you seek is not found in buying courses. The result you seek is actually in applying what you learn from that course. So if you buy a course and this is that like this is not, I think I know that this is not a strange, this is not a strange feeling. You read an article about a particular course, or someone talk about a particular course, you get all hyped up about the course and you think this course is going to change my life. Then you even save money for weeks and buy the course. Then you end up not finishing the course, and it's like you got over it pretty quick. The problem was that what there is no what system in place for taking action. You thought that what merely buying that course will make all your dreams come true, but that's not it. Is what and understanding this thing would make you like there's some people that come to me and like I want to buy this your course, and I have some doubts about them. I interview them and I end up telling them don't buy my course. This course is not for you. Because what there's some people think that oh, it's just about buying courses, and it's not about buying courses. There are courses you have bought, you have not even completed them. There are books you bought, you have not completed them. So what? drove that action? What drove you to buy that course? Was it because this is something you are genuinely interested in, or even if it's not, even if it's something you're encountering for the first time, it's something you have a strong conviction that what you can build on, or are you buying it or doing that thing because everybody's doing it? You find what you find in life. You find true fulfillment in pursuing things that aligns to your personal curiosity than pursuing things that is trending. I remember that year where every guy you saw was wanting to be DJ. Everybody was just DJ, DJ, DJ. If you come out to the street and throw a stone, it will touch five DJs. There was a time for ladies where every lady wanted to be a makeup artist. Like if you turn here, makeup artist. Even those that know how to make up and those that don't know how to make up. So it's not about jumping on what's trending. It's first of all having a what, looking inwards to know that what, okay, this thing I've set out to do. And it does not mean you will not discover new things that you can work on. But the lesson here is to what, always look inward at all time. Because what, you need daily excitement. One of the a major way I pick brands that I work with is because what, does this bring me excitement? Will I wake up? Do I wake up in the morning and want to actually do this? Yes, it takes hard work. Does not mean the fact that you enjoy doing that does not mean it will be easy. There are days you wake up. I have friends learning software development, and they, like, you just see the one when you just go to the person's status and the person is just ranting. This code is after my life. This code does not want to compile. Like they cry, they complain, they talk about how a particular bug has given them sleepless night for 3 days. But it still does not take away from the fact that they actually love that thing. You see, whenever the code start working, they are all happy. They come and celebrate. They even go out, eat, like, ah, my code is working. So despite the fact that what is giving them stress, but it's something that they enjoy. It's because it's very, very important you know this. Don't confuse loving what you do with what thinking that it's going to be easy. The fact that you love what you do does not mean it's going to be easy. But what it means that what, no matter what, no matter the challenges, it's the same thing with the difference between happiness and joy. You understand? For you to be say I am happy, something made you happy. Maybe you watched a skit or somebody gave say Johnny, ah, you laughed, I'm happy. But joy is what, being happy despite challenges. So you see some people, their life, things are happening in their life, but they're still happy. They're not allowing the circumstances affect their joy, their happiness. So that's joy. That's the difference between happiness and joy. So if you are building, because now you can say, oh, I do say that do what you love, and you not think that, oh, the fact that you think will love you back. There are days it will not love you back. There are days it will quarrel with you. But what, if you know that, oh, I love this, and even though I'm having short-term challenges, it does not mean I'll abandon it. Because even if I abandon it to go to something, there's not, like, there's a trap that young people are falling into these days, and is thinking that what, things are never easy. Things are not easy. Life is hard. Life is not fair. If you don't understand it now. Everybody have, but at the same time, everybody have unique advantage that others don't have. So what? Find your advantage and leverage it to the max, and never allow anybody to trip you for what, leveraging your advantage. You see it happen, especially in the music industry. People like copy the video. They're like, ah, it's because your father is rich. That it does not affect them. So they're not the ones that are the cause of your frustration. Most people who say that are mostly people who are frustrated and they try to look for ways to discredit the person without ignoring that this person is actually also very, very talented. So never let the world shame you from leveraging any advantage you have. Any advantage you have, leverage it to the max. But at the same time, understand that what, life is not fair. The lot of people that are growing up thinking that life is not fair. You can find out that what, a job you are qualified for, somebody less qualified to get it because he knows somebody in the company. But you find out that what, there are also places where you have that kind of leverage over others. So you understand. So I just paused a bit to talk on that. But you have to understand something, that when it comes to setting goals, because what, in that post I was talking about the fact that what, I had one of my goals for the year was to write more. You understand? I wanted to write. I wanted to start writing at least one or two blog posts a week unfailingly. So I was very, very excited about the goal because I love writing. I'm writing on the internet since January 2017. So writing gives me joy, the primary way of creating content. So I was very, very excited about the goal. I was, okay, I'm not actually taking my blog seriously. I'm focusing mostly on WhatsApp. Okay, this year I want to start writing more blog posts. And it was January 1st, but I was so excited about that. So I didn't say, oh, today is New Year Day, because you find out that what in that article I asked a question. I'm going to link that article in the Medium and in the Telegram channel. So for those that registered, one of the reasons why I say people should register for this conference, not because some people know me personally, they know that actually we share the link on the status. No, there are some resources I'm going to be sharing throughout this conference, and it's going to be shared. I'm going to share in that Telegram channel. So now you don't have access to it because you refuse to sign up. But I'm going to share the article in the Telegram channel. And what in that article I talk about that what I asked a question that what the that I was saying something that you should be excited to steal some minutes or hours and work on that goal, despite the fact that today is New Year. You understand? Because what uh I asked some questions before I made that question. I said when it comes to the goals that you have for the year, that the most important thing that you use to measure where I say the validity of the goal is excitement. Do you feel excitement about that goal when you think about your goals? Do they excite you or do they feel with anxiety? Are they things you're happily looking forward to? Or are you secretly happy that today is January 1st and you have a legit excuse not to work on that thing? Or today is New Year's Day. That means, okay, yes, I know I have a goal, but I can always start it January 2nd or January 3rd. You understand? There's some legal excuses we give ourselves. Like, this is a legal reason to give an excuse. So I said something that I believe that the state of mind you need to be in when it comes to your goal is that of intense joy. That you should be thinking of them so much that even on holidays, you have to be reminding yourself that okay, today is holiday and you actually need to rest. You should be willing to even be able to on holidays or day of rest, that you should be even willing to sneak out 1 hour or 30 minutes to quickly work on an aspect of that goal. And someone has to come and tell you that, oh, madam, today is new year and rest. Or you tell yourself, oh, today I need to focus more on rest. You understand? Because the world we live in have kind of magnified that thank God it's Friday mentality, because a lot of people are now working on they probably don't like their work. You understand? Of course, this for some people, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Like, okay, I love what I do, but I need to rest. But for many many people, thank God this Friday is that, oh, thank God I have 2 days. I'm not actually going to work on that. They don't actually enjoy what they do. They probably just do it for money and to make ends meet. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm trying to clarify that what is very very important that what you love what you do. You understand? For me now, if I have time and let's say I can write blog posts daily, I have an energy for that because writing is my primary way of what creating content. I enjoy writing. I I read my articles or I tell people that I view my status updates more than anybody. I go back and view it because I'm not just talking to people. I'm talking to myself. So it's very, very important that when it comes to your goals, you understand, are they things that excite you? Are they things that you're looking happily forward to? Or are you always looking for a perfect excuse not to work on that thing? Oh, today is Saturday, I need to rest. Today is Sunday, I need to rest. Not that rest is not important, but I feel that what there's an excitement that comes with goals that really align to you. And instead of you running away from them because it's the weekend, it's going to be reminding yourself that, oh, I have to rest today. Yes, this thing is all night, but I have to rest today. You understand? So I really want that for everyone. And one thing I'm going to be emphasizing over and over again during this conference is that what is very, very important. And I know there's a school of thought out there that believe that passion is nothing, that focus on things that make money. Yeah, everybody has their principles. But as much as possible, and truly, not everybody will have that luxury of actually finding things that are passionate about. The people that actually have to do what they don't really love just for the sake of money, fine. You understand? Like I said, everybody have their advantages. But as much as possible, I would love you to understand that what the more you are in love with what you do, the better, because you will be able to be more consistent with it. You'll be more consistent with it, and you will not always fall back on saying that okay, I'm tired. And for this company, I'm trying to not allow lessons overlap because I find myself I'm tilting towards something that's a day two topic. So that's it for the right kind of goals. And I really hope that's what you pick lessons from that. And I really hope you're writing. Like I said, it's not what you listen to this night that will change you. It's the notes you take and what you do with that notes that would what that mean that. And like I said, in that blog post about the conference, I have a framework for accountability. I'll share that on the January 1st post in the Telegram channel. So now going back to the 10 foundational problems that people face, you understand? So I think this is the major thing that this is the major thing that's okay, not major, but everything. The way I arrange this conference, that's what every topic builds on top of the other. So before I started talking about goal setting, because these other things has to do with taking action. But if you don't have the foundational parts figured out, it will be hard to build up on the other topics. So if you have somebody you are inviting to this conference, and now like for those that just joining now, I talked about just copying, and if you go to the Telegram channel, you see the last post I made there. Just copy it and paste on your status update so that people can join. And I explained why it's important for you to do that, not just for them but for yourself. And maybe when you listen to the recording, you see that. But right now, just copy the link to the conference. That last post, I mean, just copy it and paste. The last post I made in the Telegram channel, just copy it and paste on status update so anyone can join. So now to the foundational problems that people face. And what the first is the theory of action. You understand? The best way to learn anything is by doing. You don't learn anything until you do something. There are people that are trying to learn how to this thing. There are people that they want to learn how to do anything, a particular skill, and they have spent the past few weeks and months just watching tutorials. Jump from this tutorial to this tutorial, jump from this tutorial to this tutorial. You understand? It's very, very important that you understand this. You don't learn anything until you do something. And this is one of the causes that have changed my life because most of the things I do, there's a book I read by David Codmore, uh, Borrowing Brilliance by David Codmore. So I'm not only people on Zoom can see it, but I'll post the picture of the book in the Telegram channel. But I'm holding up a physical copy of it here. And it taught me a lot of things that it's not about just learning, like watching tutorials or whatever, is what starting to build from what. So if you want to learn how to write, then what you need to start writing and not just taking lessons on how to write. So even if you and for someone that wants to learn how to write, let me just give you a tip of what you can do. So the best way to for you to be a great writer, you have to be a great reader. You understand? So if you are trying to learn how to write, you can start off by as you read those early books. Did you know the book is Borrowing Brilliance? Borrowing Brilliance, Borrowing Brilliance. And like I told everybody to install the Messenger app so you'll be able to chat in the chat box. Those that didn't have the app installed will not be able to ask questions after this session. You see why it's important to have the app installed. And for those that have the app installed, follow these accounts, Ever Up, Elevate accounts, Ever Upward. So we're going to, after this conference, I do sessions every Wednesday. So you can join my other sessions after the conference ends. So just follow the accounts and you get notification whenever I start broadcasting. So it's what you don't learn anything until you do something. So when you want to learn it, no matter what it is you're trying to learn, once you watch the first tutorial, start practicing. If not, you find yourself that for 6 months you've been watching tutorials on how to build or learn that thing, and you're not actually done anything because you think that there's a level of insight you have to reach before you actually start what creating. But it's not true. So the first lesson you learn, how can I apply this? So if I'm trying not to be using only coding, so let me use fashion design. So you're learning how to sew clothes, and today you learned how to, let's say, cut a cap. Try sewing a cap. A cap is small. It's something that's what will not It's not a big project that's sewing a full suit or whatever. You know, so you learn how to what? Okay, let me learn how to. So you know, we used to just watching tutorials of how to sew, how to cut dresses. Try sewing a cap. So you will learn more from the process. Learning by doing is the best. You learn more in that process of building than watching tutorials over and over again. So the same thing about what creating content online. I want to learn how to blog. Okay, see for my first blog on Steemit. So from 2011 to 2016, 2011 I discovered online brand 2011, and I started reading about how to build an online brand. But then I didn't have money to buy a laptop. I didn't have money to host a blog online because it costs money. But I kept on learning how to build it. And for those 2011, 2016, I was learning how to build a brand online, how to build a blog, how to build a community online. I was learning all these things. But I was not what creating content. I just kept learning. Yes, I had limitations. But right now, I don't have that. Nobody, every single person on this call hearing my voice have the tools to start. You have a device that can connect to the internet, probably your phone or your laptop, and what you have internet connection. I didn't have the luxury of these things then. When I started learning how to build a brand online, I didn't even have a phone. So what I did was that what I looked for newspapers. When I get the newspaper, I look for the section that talks about tech, and what I read about any tech articles on that section. I started with newspapers. I didn't even have the internet. So now, but you guys have the luxury of everything. You have the phone, you have the smartphone. Even if you don't have a laptop, you can have access to a laptop. But there's no skill you want to start learning today that you cannot do use a phone. Even if it's coding, there are apps that enable you to learn how to code with your phone. Because some people give themselves excuse, I don't have a laptop. If it's blogging, you can blog Substack, Medium, you can write on your phone and publish and reach an audience. So you already have everything that you need to start. You already have everything that you need to start. So it's very, very important. Then I didn't have a smartphone. I just had a little phone that my uncle gave me. It could not power it. Now and then, of course, blogs are now more have now been, how would I say, more simplified that phones can carry them. Then you cannot even dream of hosting a blog on a phone. But 2017, I finally have got a laptop. Time to what? Start blogging. And I had a new problem. I didn't know what to blog about. So what should I blog about? Now I have a blog, I have a laptop, another problem don't come. What will I blog about? But what I didn't allow, because if there are times where you will have gotten there and you would this thing, you now say, okay, let me wait to figure things out. No, I say that instead of me to sitting down trying to let me start scripts. So I decided to start writing short stories. So every day I come to my blog, I write a short story on can be on any topic. It can be but I mostly wrote this thing, how like what's gen is that? I know I remember a story I wrote about a doctor in a hospital. I remember a story I wrote about a kingdom. Like I was writing a short story every day, a short story published. And at the same time, Stevie was a big blogging platform where people could what write and earn. So it was getting a lot of attention. So at the same time, I was going around the platform, also what reading what blog posts there. And so as I was going around that platform, I started noticing something. A lot of people on this platform was just here to earn. Most of them didn't know how to blog or build a community. And I spent the past 5 to 6 years learning that. So wow, perfect. So what I went back to all my notes. That's when I said, when you join sessions, write notes. Don't just join sessions and listen. And just so I went back to my notes and I knew those platforms where I learned. And I started what everything I've learned over as if I had a bachelor degree in online branding. Everything I've learned over the 5 years, I started teaching them on my blog, writing articles about them. And I started building a following from all over the world. So I was able to make my first millionaire online in 4 months with that blog. Because what everything was what I didn't wait to figure things out before I started. I started from writing short stories that I discovered that because there are some things you never discover until you start. There are some things you never discover until you start. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. There are a lot of things that can come to you, but you don't know because so you're not taking the first step required to get to that place. So doing that, writing short stories enabled me, and being actively on the platform enabled me to discover that A lot of people, imagine I was just sitting down and thinking of what should I blog about. Months will pass and I've not started. But coming on that platform every day to publish my short stories and reading the content of others and it made me see loopholes and what problems I could help people solve. So until you are active in a marketplace, it will be hard for you to know your place or find out how to provide value. So what is very, very important, learning by doing is the best way to do anything. Don't just watch tutorials over and over again. Once you watch the very first tutorial, ask yourself, is it possible for me to build anything from what I've learned? Then what starts? So if it's a blog, even if it's just one book, so you want to start a blog, you know what to blog about. Start reading books and writing summaries of the book you read and publishing it on your blog. By the time you do it consistently, one of my mentors, Nat Eliasin, that's what he did. He was writing what you can go to. I'll link his blog in the Telegram channel. But what he was always what writing what he built a database of books, and most of the books was big books. And what it enabled him was a lot of people were now visiting the blog to read summary of books, and from then he was able to create different courses. He monetized a lot of those things just from writing summaries of book that he's reading. So what is very, very important that what learning by doing, the theory of action, doing is more important than thinking and reading and whatever. So I've spent how many minutes on just the first. Okay, the second is actually what's also tied to it, and what is that consistency is what creates competence. Consistency is what creates competence. When you start out, you are not going to be like now. Those blog posts I wrote in 2017 that people were thanking me for and say, "Well, these blog posts are powerful. They have changed my mindset. They have changed my understanding of branding." You understand? I had readers from all over the world: Spain, America, Russia. I had a Russian friend then. So those people, like the content that enabled them to connect with me, I go back and read those posts now, like look at the rubbish I'm writing. Like so so that I ask myself, am I the one that wrote this thing? Because the blog posts are too short, then I'll write 300 words and I'll be feeling like a king. But now I try to keep my blog post short because if you leave me, I can write 3,000 words. But then it does not mean what I put it was not valuable. I'm thinking like that because now I know much more and I'm much more better. Then I'm not looking at that early work and like saying, this thing was not that good. Because it's very, very important that you understand it. A lot of people have not started because there are people that have been learning software development, product design, or any other skill for months now. And even the rats in their house don't know that they're learning that skill. A young man came to me and told me that he's learning was it data analysis or software development, but his problem is that he's not getting jobs. So I knew him personally, so I went to his Instagram account. And the only thing on his Instagram account were his pictures of him. He goes out to snap pictures and post. Like there was no single post about software development or whatever he was learning. So I told him that your problem is that nobody knows what you do. That's why you're not getting jobs. How do you expect to get jobs? You want people to just pass and they will see you and they will look at you and say, I see you as a skilled person and employ you. And he had that fear. And so the other thing that causes that, and I'll come to that, but one of the reasons why people do that is because they believe they have to become so good before they now start sharing their work. But you will not be good enough. Because like me now, imagine I was looking for people when I become so good. I wouldn't have started till now because I'll still be looking at it and I'll say this thing is not good. So start. I remember when I started learning product design, the very first design I did, I put it in my WhatsApp status and asked for feedback. It was very, very ugly. And it got more uglier as the days went back. But I was like, look, whenever I see it, I say, Jesus, see what I put for people to look at. But it didn't matter because what? It was from that same WhatsApp that people started messaging me for product design job. I started learning product design April 2019. April, May, June, July, August. Within 5 months, I was already getting job. The first job I did, 40K. The second 100, the third 100K. I did 200K jobs in, I think, was it August? I made 200K that month. But the people that after just learning product design for 5 months, But there are people that have been learning product design for 2 years and have not been able to get that kind of jobs because nobody knows who they are. They think they have to become God level before they start sharing their work. So if you are in that situation, understand that what if you keep waiting for when you are good enough to share, the world will never hear from you. Because even I that have been sharing for years, like I'm sure this blog post I'm writing now, this thing I'm saying in this conference now, I'll look back at in 2 years' time now, 3 years' time, I'll look back and I'm like, ah, look at the rubbish I was saying. Or what I didn't even give these people enough insight on this. Because what I now know much more. It always happens. You always look back and I was like, this night is not good enough. And it's not making you understand that what if you're also waiting, but at the same time, it does not prevent you from achieving success or making money. But what over time, the value you can provide increases, the amount of money you can earn also increases. Then you now look back and say, okay, even though this thing I did in the past was not that good, based when I review it against what I know now, it was still okay to get me jobs. Because even the companies you design an app for, they also do updates. So there's something you have to understand. Consistency is what creates competence. You have to what, always create consistently and put your work out. Let me go to the third point. I want to wrap this up in some minutes time. The third is what, zoom out. And what it simply means that what it's what, how will I put it? When you're looking at uh Nabal said it better. He said that what it takes 10 years to build a career in anything. And what does it mean that what? It does not mean it will take you 10 years to start making money. But before you get to that point, it's easy for you to look on the day to day and look as if you're not making progress. Or I don't but when you not look over a period of time, you not find out that wow, I've actually been making progress. So don't review the value of what you do or the how what the how let's the potential of what you do for what happens daily. Always zoom out. Always look at it. After when you look at after 3 months, over 9 months, you see how far that you have come. And it happens with the same thing with us as human beings as growth. On the day to day, you don't notice yourself growing. But when you go to the village for Christmas, you say, ah, you're now big, go. But you're actually growing, but you're not noticing it because you're seeing yourself every day, especially your siblings. You're seeing them every morning, so you're not really noticing their growth that much. But when another person and after an app sees them, they say, "Wow, this person is now so tall." You understand? So it's very very important that you understand this. That's what it takes time. So don't judge yourself based on short term, but know that what as time goes on, you are going to see what more and more results. The third, look at the fourth, is what the theory of auditing your this thing, your thoughts. And how do you audit your thoughts? By auditing what enters your eyes and your ears. A lot of people are facing this problem because what everything around them tells them they cannot be great. Everything about them tells them that they're limited in one way or the other. So they keep seeing it and they keep believing it. What you keep seeing, believe it. As you keep seeing that thing, you keep on thinking that, oh, this person say I shared this thing with my students during a call, I think on Sunday. There's somebody that is a foundational mentor for me, like when it comes to the area of building. He's a core, like a lot of people have know me that I introduce him to a lot of people. You understand? And his content is so great. At the same time, he said something that if you agree with everything I said, then you have a problem. And for a long time, I've always agreed with everything he said until 2 days, I said 2 days, last week, he said, I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he mentioned that something was not possible. That it's not possible for a person that does this to do this. And that thing he said was not possible was a major goal for me this year. So going back to what I talked about measuring next, I was excited about the goal and I knew it was possible. And I actually started working on it and I'm seeing results. But then he said that it was not possible for the person that does this to do this. So I was like, I don't want to call that because talking about your goals reduces your ability of doing it. I'll explain that aspect later. But what I was like, it's possible. I'm doing it now. So it's I was like, I'll totally ignore that episode and continue listening to, but I found out that's what due to the fact that that was a major goal for me this year. It's not possible for me to listen to every of his other episodes and not remember that thing. So I unsubscribed from his podcast because what every day I listen to him, he will remind me that I will remember that what he said that what I'm trying to do is not possible. So I had to unsubscribe. So despite the fact that his other content is so magnificent, I'm like my time with you is done for now. So maybe in the future we can reconnect, but for now I have something I'm going for. And you don't believe it is possible, but I do. So I have to listen to people that believe it is possible. So because when I talk about this thing now, you might now start thinking about cutting people off. It's not saying cut people off. There are what that people you don't even interact with daily that put out content that affects your mindset. The people you follow on Instagram, the people you follow on Twitter, you don't chat to them, they don't even know who you are. But what they share daily is shaping your mind. So anything that enters your mind and your eyes have entered your soul, and then they entered your soul, it has entered your life. It's going to affect how you think and act. So you have to be very, very ruthless with this. You have to audit ruthlessly the things you view, the things you watch, the things you listen to. You have to audit ruthlessly. I was talking to somebody today, but I've said it severally. I use social media like a school. I don't follow people because the person is my neighbor, because the person is my cousin, or because I attend the same church with the person. I follow people because I want to learn from them. So at every stage of my life, what am I trying to learn now in this season? And who is the number one person that can teach me about, or who are the people that can teach me these things? And what I look for the social media. I opened my Twitter account September 2016. And the first thing I did after opening my Twitter account, I went to Google and typed top 20 influencers in Nigeria. And what I wrote down their names from that article and their Twitter handle. Then, as I was reading the article, I was looking for the ones that were in the same industry with me or shared content that had to do with my interest. And I just picked, I think that article listed like 25 people or so. I ended up picking out like 12 people, 11 people. And I searched for their Twitter handle and followed only them. Because social media is something that you so much underestimate. It's just WhatsApp, it's just Twitter, it's just Instagram. But the particular person is sharing content every day that is messing with your mind. And you see it as was normal. Some WhatsApp TVs have taken it upon themselves to be the porn center of WhatsApp. If you don't learn to mute accounts or contacts like that, it's shaping those things are affecting your mind. So me across all channels, Twitter, Instagram, on WhatsApp, I mute people daily on WhatsApp. There's some people that say you don't even have to open the status updates to know they posted the rubbish. You can just meet them directly from when they pop up. So what audits what the people around you matters. The content that affects you the most are content from people who you don't even know. You just follow them on Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat. And what you now think that, oh, that's what this is just is harmless. This is just WhatsApp. This person is just the person can catch cruise, eh? But those things are affecting what the kind of people I follow on social media, the kind of people that even on the days I want to be lazy, once I see their posts, I'm like, okay, go and walk. Oh. So audits, this is a major problem. Oh. I'm talking about 10 foundational problem, but this one is a major of a major problem because it's one of the ones people underrate the most. So they end up following people carelessly on social media. But the content you view daily, it's it was so go back to your social media. This is an assignment. Go back to your Twitter, your Instagram, and review every account. Even after a while, some people I still follow, I unfollow them. Review every single account you are following on those platforms. Ask yourself, does this person's content contribute to the future I'm trying to build? If the answer is no, unfollow. And it does not mean that, and at the same time, it's something you have to understand. The fact that I'm not following some people does not mean they don't give valuable content. It's just that's not what I'm here for. It's just like you now, you got admission into university to study law. Like you wrote jump and post UME, and you got, oh, I have finally, and my name comes out in the admission list, first list, law. Then you get to the university the first day, you just walk, and instead of you to go to law faculty, you go to engineering, and you go and sit down in the electrical engineering class, and you sit down and take electrical engineering lectures for 4 years, and you now expect the school to give you certificates in electrical engineering. You're not getting any. If you like stay in that electrical engineering class for 100 years, nobody's giving you a certificate. That's not what you got admission for. So your this understanding will let you. There's some people that you will end up not following, not because they don't post valuable content, but because the content they post is not related to what you're trying to learn. It will not give room for people who actually post. And what it's seasonal. At every season, there's something you have to learn, and some people have to follow. And after a time, people you have to unfollow because you have learned all you have to learn from them. So it's what you need to now give room, because the amount of people you follow determine the amount of posts you see in a day. And if you're someone that is truly productive with your time, you know you have a limited amount of time to spend on social media daily. So you have to be important about that every single second you spend on social media, the probability of seeing content that contributes to what you're building currently is high. So this is not what you have to be. I'm not sentimental about these things. That would have come to harass me. Why you not following back on Twitter? Why not? I'm like, I explain this to them, and I'm like, the same thing with me. If my content does not contribute to the future you're trying to be, don't follow me. I do it for people. I don't follow. If I need to talk to you, I'll call you on the phone and ask you questions. But I can't follow in social media, not because I hate you or whatever. It just I know that I have limited time on social media daily. So as much as possible, and I use my social media as a school. So as much as possible, I would focus on what the content that is driving me towards my goal. So it's very, very important that you learn this. Very, very important. It's going to save. I have made a lot of money. I made a lot of money last year simply because I followed the right people. Just simply that I came on Twitter and what I saw the right people. The first time this happened to me was early 2018. I won $300 just because I saw a tweet and acted fast. So if I was not following the right person, I will not see that. But just but beyond money, the most important is even the information. Because the most valuable thing that what anybody can give you is not money, it's information. It's information that can help you what create consistent income that the person cannot give you consistently. So it's very, very important that what you learn this. It's very, very important that what you learn this. So the fifth, right? The fifth is what something that whenever I said it, uh, a lot of people don't like hearing it, but it's the truth. And this one is this is a functional problem for people. And what will I call it? Will I call it the theory of one day it go better? You understand? It go better. One day it go better. Things will get better. I believe. And people say that because they believe that what in some months' time, a Messiah will fall come from the clouds and what ask them for the account number and send them 5 million naira. I saw one cartoon clip. The guy was talking to his friend and said, Okoli, might just see 536 million naira for ground. You understand? So those people always believe that something extraordinary will just happen, and just that overnight, like God is one funny thing I discovered, like nobody played that 2 seconds. There's a particular video that trended 2020 December. That's 2 seconds. That boy that was praying and was saying Papa God of 2 seconds, 2 seconds. That video trended 2020 December. Everybody was posting the video of that boy praying of to God, and it was those the people that this year something can yeah, of course something can still happen the year, but if you're not be putting in the work, where will the thing come from? So I don't believe in grace. For for every success you want to achieve in this life, you need two things: you need grace and truth. And overdose of grace will not help you, and overdose of truth will not help you. We have to balance both. So before you start deploying grace, asking for grace, You have to work. So that was this is the law of harvest. You can't. It's not that you not plant anything, then you start proclaiming that this thing out. Yeah, you're a kidnapper. So nobody is coming to save you. Figure yourself out. There's no that uncle that promised to give you job after school. The probability of him giving you a job is very, very low. You say, I'll see what I can do. It's 3 years, I'm still waiting to see what he can do. So it's very, very what important. It's very, very important. One day it go better. It go better if you put in the work. Like I said, let me say it again. Nobody is coming to save you. Figure out your life. Find out what you can do and start putting work towards it. Don't spend this another new year and what? You're not doing anything. You're just going day by day, hoping against hope. Even the Bible says is that what? The just shall live by faith. The Bible did not say the just shall live by hope. Hope is good, but what? Hope is good, but what is how would I say? Is temporal. Is a temporal solution. Hope only works for you when you have actually put in the work. And I hope this thing works out. But what the Bible said that what the just shall live by faith. And the Bible says that what faith without works is dead. So yeah, faith does not work if you have not put in the work. So it's very, very important. This is another new year. Don't spend this whole year thinking that things will miraculously happen overnight that will catapult you to become a big boy or a big girl. You have to work. You have to work. Don't live with that one day you get better life mindset. And a lot of people around you are making moves, and your own is to laugh at them and say, this person now only sabi hustle, now only sabi code, now only sabi do affiliate marketing. What at every point in time, young people like you are making moves to secure their future. So I'm not saying you should jump on any of those things. You have, like I said earlier, find out which one, what can I actually do. So if he's learning how to make shoes, go and start mastering it and be allowed that. Let everybody know you're a shoemaker. So it's very, very important that you understand this. It's very, very important. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Figure out your life. And what one thing I understand about life is that what help mostly comes when you start taking action. Like that's like some people, like some of my students, they have a, and some people I even know, they have a kind of cheat code when it comes to me. There are things I do for them I don't do for others. Not because I want to be partial, but because I see them work hard on what they do and I want them to succeed. So it's the kind of as well as I'm giving them protection. Not I don't give other people, but I go over the top for them. I do go the extra mile. Because what I see the amount of work they put in daily, and I'm like, this person works hard. It's just like you now, if you're traveling and your car breaks down, if you sit down inside that car and you're complaining, my car broken down, what will I do now? People be passing. They'll even if they see, they'll probably think you're inside the car waiting for somebody. Or that maybe a mechanic is coming. Even if the car is not on the road, they'll think, this one is relaxed. Maybe I've called mechanic. But you're not calling a mechanic. You're just there complaining that my car is broken. But the moment you step down, even if you're the only one in that car, the moment you step down and start making attempts to push that car, it is easier to get help. You see that people come and help you because what? Okay, he's trying to. He cannot push this car. Let me come and help. So is what is very, very important that you realize this. It's very, very important that you realize this. Okay, short break. Can people in Zoom hear me? Somebody is saying my voice is double. I want to know where the problem is coming from. I think I have Zoom open and Missile are open at the same time, but I don't is so people in Zoom, can you give me feedback? Are you hearing me clearly? Is the sound model use the chat box? Is the sound modeled up in any way? Or are the people in Zoom are saying that they can hear me loud and clear? So yeah, so if you notice since yesterday, MTN has been giving issues. So if you use MTN, you'll notice that network was very, very bad yesterday. So they're really working on the issues, but some people are still being affected. So just bear with us. All right, so I've talked about how many points now? I've talked about 5 points. So let me go to the next point. And what failure? Failure is what is feedback. Learn from it and move on. A lot of people are not taking action because they're afraid of failure. But once you understand that you can never totally eliminate failure. Not life is not like I said earlier. Life is not perfect. Not everything will work out. But one thing I've learned is that what even if things don't work out as planned, that process of taking action is going to gift you with something you never expected. Like I've tried this thing countless times. One of my best selling course, my NFT guide, came from a failure. I created it for something else and it didn't work out, and I started selling it as a course. And I've been selling it since last year. I've done over 2 million naira in sales from that course. It was a failure. So what failure is feedback. Learn from it and move on. Don't be afraid of failure. Failure should not something you should be scared. It's either you what? It's either you. I would post a video by in a Telegram channel, a video by, and please, all these things I'm saying I'm posting, someone should remind me in case I forget anyone. I put a video in the Telegram channel by Laurie Hill, and she talked about this in her favor, ups and downs. Is that what the down moments are periods of what learning. So even when you're feeling down, when you think it's a opportunity for you to learn, it's a opportunity for you to dig deep and what find out what actually works. So yes, this does not work out. What next? Trying to avoid failure will never help you. Trying to what avoid failure. And I think the next point is actually also tied to this now. That's point number 7 is that what courage is not the absence of fear. This is the theory of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, is taking action despite the presence of fear. Because a lot of people things you have set out to do now, and you are this thing, you are afraid to do it, and you think that some people think that it's until they wake up in the morning and they're not scared to do that thing, that's when they can. No, fear never goes away. Let me tell you, I've watched interviews by successful men, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. I've watched interviews by them. Fear never goes away. Jeff Bezos is currently okay. Elon Musk is currently the richest man in on earth now. If he wants to start a new project, he still has that fear that will not work out. Like serious fear. Will this thing work out? Will this be a waste of money? Fear never goes. No matter how successful you become on this earth, fear never goes away. So understanding this will let you know that what you have to take action. You have to do it. Yes, like Six to say that do it afraid. You have to take action despite being afraid. Because the fear will never, there's never a point you get to this, like even if you become 100 years, there's never a point you get to this, like that fear of failure will go away. It's always going to be there. You have to what? I remember 2008, October 2018, I started meeting my brother on WhatsApp. And I was afraid, will this thing work? Will this WhatsApp thing work out? Can I actually be the brand on WhatsApp? I was afraid. It was a friend of mine, then Thompson Omoba, that's like talked to me and encouraged me and like start. He said to work out. And I was very, very afraid that day, but I started. And today now, I've been able to be the brand on WhatsApp at least to the level it is currently. So fear will never go away. Some of you have said that, oh, I want to start posting on Instagram, I want to start doing this, but what you are not afraid. What will people think? How will people like it? Like a whole lot of things. But you have to understand this, that what that fear you're feeling will never go away. That fear you're feeling, it will never, there's never going to be a point in time you will get to and you say, oh, I'm no longer afraid. It's a lie. It's going to always be there. You understand? So this number 8 is on another issue that is very, very serious, and it's what setting small goals, aiming low. You understand? Aiming low. One of the most tragic things you can do in this life is to aim low. You understand? One of the most tragic things that you can do. It takes the same energy to build $1 million business that it takes to build one of 400,000. So when you're starting out, start out to build something big. Even if you don't hit the target, you come close. It's very, very important that what you understand this. So for this conference, I said a really big goal. I've never done it before. I said I want to reach 9,000. Yes, we're not got to 9,000, but it's a big goal. And what people after today, after tomorrow, next we hit it. But what even if not, it will eventually get to the point where 9,000 people watch the recording. So what it does not cost, it does not harm you in any way to think big. Nobody taxes you for thinking big, because once you start thinking big, it starts opening you up to what the different things you can do to actually hit that goal. But if you're aiming small, you're not thinking that okay, this is my capacity, this is my capacity, that this is what I can do. You always be in that bubble where you're not stretching yourself, and what you keep on being in your comfort zone. So what it takes the same energy it takes to dream big, to dream small. Dream big. It takes the same energy to dream big that it takes to dream small. Dream big. Very, very what? Important. Very, very important. The ninth one is your reputation. And what this cuts across everything. Bible says that what a good name is better than riches. There are promises, that you make that you you don't want to fulfill, you run away from, and you think that it's nothing there. Maybe people just drag you for one day, and you just think that they are forgotten. That one has passed, but you don't know that what it's people people never forget. Your reputation is what there's going to be a time you get to, and it's only your name that qualifies you for things. Once they mention your name, nobody argues it. And even if you're not very, very good in that thing, you still have a chance to go in and research how to do it and do it. Your name is the most powerful thing. For me, my name, that Ajulu, is the most valuable thing I own. Because what? You can take everything I own now, take all my money, take all my possessions, but that name, I can use it to get everything I want back. Your name is your most valuable asset, not the money in your account, not your cars, not your houses. It's your name. 3 years ago, Hotel Dollar went bankrupt. It was his name that got him back, and he's a billionaire again today. Many people didn't know that he went bankrupt, but now he's a billionaire again. It's your name. It's your name. That's the most important thing. What comes to the mind of people when your name is mentioned? There are times where this is going to go very, very hard. But what? Your name. Anytime, once you give your word, keep to your word. I ran an NFT marketing contest that I did last year. I totally forgot that I said I would give the person that have the highest sale 100K. It's after the thing ended, the person that reminded me that you said 100K. I said Jesus, and I remember. So I could have easily say, oh, this one, because I had money on hand I wanted to use for something very, very important. I could have easily said that I'll give you later, and maybe I'll keep posting her, or I'll say that I don't remember saying I've changed my mind. No, even though it was paining me at that point, I just sent her the 100K, because what I said that's what the person that has the highest sale gets 100K. I said it. So at that point, it was pinching me, it was paining me, but I had to do it because what my name was on the line. So it's very, very important that you understand this. Your name is your most valuable asset. It's better you lose money. It's better you lose money than your integrity. It's better you lose money than integrity. One of the person that inspired me the most in this thing last year, the story of Coach Charis. Most people here know Coach Charis. Coach Charis Motors is a multi-billionaire. His brother, or likely his cousin, his in-law, Andy Uba, came and borrowed money from him. He said that he told Coach Charis that there's a big project coming up and that he needs funds for it. He sold he explained the project because that was wow. And that project required taking loan of, I think, was it $213 million? like a huge amount of money, over $100 million. So Coach Charlie just went to the bank and asked them that I need a loan of that amount. And they wired that money to Coach Charis without him signing any documents. They just said because of course his name, they know that it's him. They didn't. The account officer just say, "Hey, wire him the money." They just sent him money. He didn't sign anything. They didn't sign anything. Coach Charis gave that money to Anduba, and Anduba ate that money and refused to do that project. It's when it was not time to pay the money to the bank. Bank were coming for their money. The project they did ever hold. The person gave the money because he trusted the person, but the person betrayed his trust. So at that point where he was, he could deny that he could deny the bank because nothing was signed. Because I think it's $230 million. What is $230 million? He could deny that you would not give me any loan. If you go to court, the court will ask you, where is the document that was signed when you gave him this loan, this money? Nothing was signed. The bank manager, that account manager just gave that on trust. This coach Charlie, give me the money after we do the documentation. He could have easily what says that what that one concerning people like me at the day. He could have used the fact that that money was stolen from him to justify not paying it back. And what it cost, he was just at the court. But he said one day, just woke up in the morning, just called the account, like, tell him to bring papers to my house. The man brought the papers and he signed it. And he said that immediately signed that paper, he started jubilating that I have won. It took him, he had to liquidate his holdings in like 2 or 3 companies, but he paid that money back. Because what he understood that it is your name. No matter, even if you lose everything, your name can get you everything back. And don't wait until you become a billionaire to understand this thing. Start from now. Even if you have not made up to 1K online, your name. If you make promises, stick to your promises. Be a person of integrity. This is a big problem for a lot of people because they think it's about being sharp. We live in a generation where fraud is made look normal, but fraud is stealing. And what? The Bible says that what? Unrighteous wealth destroys the owner. Yes, you make the money, but on the long term, you start what? It's going to be like gravel. The Bible says that what? That it's like gravel. Just like they mixed, after a while, that money will be like, just like they mixed cement, and you went to go and take a cup of it to drink. That's how it will be in your mouth. So what is very, very important that you understand this. Your name is your most important asset. Guard it with your life. It's better you lose money than integrity. It's better you lose money than integrity. So the 10th one, yes, 10th, right? Yes, is what? The principle of action. And it simply says that what? Tomorrow does not exist. Do it now. And that thing can also be said in a way that what? It can also be said in a form that what? Yesterday does not exist. Do it now. What those two things are saying is that what? For the one of yesterday, anytime you lose is frozen in time. You have probably spent around 1 hour listening to me now. That 1 hour of your time is gone. You can't get it back. That's why I tell people that what any hour or minute you're spending, ensure you're spending it on something that pushes you forward to what you're trying to build. At the same time, tomorrow does not exist. Do it now. Never take a day for granted. That things you want to do, like I'll do it tomorrow. What of today? Once today is past, today is gone. Anything you don't do today, you have wasted that what? You have wasted that day. And what I was talking to somebody yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was telling her that what there's that thing that happens when you understand you create New Year resolutions, and then you start doing them in January. Then along the line you just fall off. And instead of you to continue working on that thing, you're like, that one, I've spoiled this thing. You now want to wait 1 year again to now set the goals again. You have burnt 1 year of your life not doing that thing. And whether you like it or not, I know people don't like hearing it, but we have a limited time on this earth. No matter who you are hearing my voice now, including me that's talking here, in 100 years' time, none of us will be alive. But let's say I'm those people that want to live to 150. Maybe you can say God forbid. But in 100 years' time, the probability of everybody here on this call, including me, being alive is very, very slim. So time is limited. So what you do with your time matters. And what every single thing I've talked up in the build up to this contribute towards that. Because what if you surround yourself with the people that you're learning from, if you create it consistently, you'll be less likely to waste your days. Because that of the two that days you wake up, you don't want to do it. That song by Bruno Mars. Today I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to sleep throughout today. There are days you wake up and what you just want to sleep and chill and watch movies. But if you're following the right, but by the time you now wake, maybe you now want to come and tell this person, beg, when you now want to come and tell this person that give me Netflix login, then you see him talking about his what he's building. You see, God bless not even no serious with my life. You'll be pushed to work because everybody around you are building. You start looking, some people do, and some people that's the only thing they've never posted anything about their business or what that is to go on their social audit and post who will give them Netflix login. So it's very, very important that you understand this. It's very, very important that you understand this. So for a bonus, I want to talk on the ego. This is a big problem. And some of these problems are intertwined. The reason why a lot of people don't post what they do is because they have an ego problem. They are trying to put up a perception of themselves that is not true. There are a lot of people. One incident I'll never forget in my life. I was at a popular E3 in Enugu, and uh, three girls came in, walked in, three young girls, probably 2021, and they came into the E3. Okay, they just came to eat. So I was talking with the person I had a meeting with there, and they started taking pictures. I said, okay, okay, normal friends went out, take pictures. Then I noticed something strange. They were going, they came with a bag, and inside that bag is clothes. So they'll take one round of pictures, they'll go into the toilets, change their clothes, wear a different wig, come out and take pictures. They did that up to three times. And I was just there, I was just laughing. These girls will go home now and they'll be posting those pictures every day. You know, people around there will not be feeling pressure. This girl is balling every day. We'll see how she's going out. And that E3 had it was a kind of it was a very very it's a place that was designed creatively. They had a lot of different corners, so they go into different sections that are looking different to take pictures. And I said they'll go man and be posting this thing. Maybe after coming that day, the next 4 or 5 days or 6 days, they'll be posting those different pictures, and people will just be saying, these girls are balling. No, look at they just you understand. And it's an ego problem. They're trying to put up a perception of themselves that is not real. They want people to think that they're chilling with the big guys and it's not true. And this thing is a major problem of a lot of people. A lot of people don't post their business or what they're doing on social media because what they don't want people to think that they're hustlers. They don't want people to think they are broke. But they are truly broke. If among the people that don't talk about it, it's an ego problem because you're trying to keep you want people to have people should think about me this way, but it's not true. That's why it's also hard for you to find your destiny helper because the person that even wants to help you say, this person they ball past me, or now you're supposed to even cut so for me. They don't know that you are suffering. Like I've seen this thing play out countless times. There's a day I went to ShopRite. And okay, I said I'll not talk about that in that way. But the day I went to shop, I wanted to throw a shade, but I'm not throwing it. But the day I went to ShopRite, and I was coming to ShopRite to buy something. A guy and a girl walked in with me. You understand? So I saw them because we walked in together. So I took my baskets and started shopping. Then I came to a particular section, and I saw them shopping, picking up things and putting in a basket. They're taking pictures. So I've seen people take pictures in the malls, okay? They're taking pictures. Then, okay, they're buying things, okay, they come out. So after I went around and bought everything, I went to pay at the checkout counters. And funny thing happened. I saw both of them walking out of shop. They didn't buy anything. Like they just started walking out. So like these people just came here. and posed and took pictures with goods and left. They didn't even buy even toothpick. And they were there for like 20 minutes, taking pictures in different corners. And they had things in the basket. That was what, like, when I saw they had things in the basket. So after taking pictures, they now returned those things back to the shelves and they walked out. This grown men, this is not those things were not small. If it was teenagers, I would say, okay, this was not teenagers. So those guys, that guy and girl, the least age they will be is 23, 24. 60 to 70-year-old couple. Like it baffled me. And it just made me see there are a lot of things that you see on social media that social media is 95% fake life. And I've also seen that because as someone that teaches online, you understand, there's some people that come to me and start telling me they need this, they need that, or they don't understand this. And I'm like, see person where I want pin in status say in sabi everything. Because some people just go out and they copy things from, they're just sharing. You think that they know those things. They only like when I start telling that, then they send me DM and say, Ajulu, I say, I thought you know this thing. So it's an ego problem. It's an ego problem. They want people to think they're a big girl. They want people to think they're a big guy. And it's not true. And I've seen this thing happen countless times. I remember when my boss sent somebody to buy a phone for him. The guy is a developer. And next thing, I went on this guy's Instagram and he posted my boss phone. And the caption he used that I just bought this phone to be testing my apps. And I was like, this is the phone that they sent you to go and buy. The same phone. I was thinking, okay, did he also buy his own? I checked the picture. It was exactly the same phone. So for you also here, please don't live fake life. And also don't allow anybody to tension you. If it's 2 naira that you have, on my status last week, I did a thread on little wins. People that see my status updates would this thing know this. I did a thread on little wins, on why you need to have to celebrate your little wins. Because we live in a world where maybe you are not seeing this person is posting how he made 1 million, how he made 10 million. Maybe it's 1K you made. You're not feeling shy to post that you made one. No, if it's 10 naira that you made, write it on your status. I made my first 10 naira online. Making money online is not easy. I made my first 10 naira online today. Even nobody clap, you clap for yourself. You have to understand this. Don't allow ego. You are learning how to code. You are learning how to make dresses. Nobody have seen you. Even your mother don't know you make dresses because you don't even talk about it. It's an ego problem. That's enough. I want people to always think, and that's why your destiny helper, God will send somebody to help you. The person will reach, the person will know, the person will think that you have everything figured out. You know, you're suffering inside, suffering and smiling. And should I tell you guys the truth? Everybody lives fake life online. There's an aspect, and let me explain. Even if you don't live fake life, I want to show you how easy it is for people to live fake life. That's what I'm trying to do with exercise. So even if you don't live fake life per se, like you are always honest about everything you do online, there are times you go out, or even if you're at home, you want to post your picture, you not take selfie, you take like 4 or 5 selfies. When it's not time to post the selfie, you now start looking for the one that looks the finest. Those selfies you don't want to post, that's how you truly look. You now start looking for the picture that has the right angles, that one is sun-kissed. Those ones you are ignoring, that's your real face. So I'm trying to make you understand that, to see how it's easy for people to put their best foot forward online. You understand? I'm trying to make you understand. So even if you don't live fake life, even if you don't tell lies about what you do or your financial state, But when it's time to post picture, you use filter. There's one filter on Snapchat that makes people have pointed nose. There's somebody I was seeing online, no. Then the day I now had a meeting with her in person, I could not recognize her. I was not saying, should not the person be this? Please, oh, so filters. So even if you don't live fake life, you're a honest somebody. People still use filters. I'm trying to make you understand that what people, there's everybody live an aspect of what's putting their best foot forward online. So don't allow anybody to tension you. And what don't be ashamed to post your work. That all of them are driving Benz. Okay, you don't have Benz, but post your business. You see customers, and tomorrow, very soon, you make enough money to buy your own Benz. And most time, one of those people that used to post, also, even you yourself know that their source of wealth is not legit. So why are you allowing Yahoo boys to tension you? Why? Why are you allowing Ron's girl to tension you? You know that this person is what is not the person is not doing something good, and you know that nothing can even carry. So why you like when I see Yahoo boys, I used to pity them. Some of them they don't leave the house again. They what because of what they don't want any wahala on the road. I like I've heard it severally. Yahoo boys they will pay dispatch rider to be coming to the house. He doesn't buy food. They call the dispatcher, can't buy food for me. He doesn't go here errand. They don't leave the house. So you do Yahoo finish. You make money. You build mansion. And what you built for yourself was a prison, and you call it mansion because you cannot leave your house. Which kind of wealth is that? It's the same thing with all those people that would do ritual in those days. Even now they're still doing it. They'll tell you that that you make all the money, they cannot build their own house. Unrighteous wealth destroys the owner. Unrighteous wealth destroys the owner. On the short term, like I used to get arguments a lot. So we say, this person's a Yahoo boy, but he used to invest. I was not telling you, see what happens. Any money you don't have capacity for, no matter how much you are giving, you can't handle it. Yes, you make the person made the person no, I'm not gonna pay 100 million naira. Bam. You see them, they'll hit that money, they'll buy Benz, they'll buy house. They're already saying, what can I invest with this money? They'll go and buy land, they'll buy a lot of investment and keep. But due to the fact that that they don't have a sustainable business, there's nothing that they've built that brings in steady income. They just hammer once. They will start spending from the money they hammered. And one thing about money, even if you put 1 billion naira in an account and you come out today, withdraw 1K, come out today, withdraw 2K. One day the money will finish. One day you put in the card, insufficient fund. Then when they now finish spending the cash, they now start selling their land to have money at hand. And this might happen over a period of 6 to 18 months. And you'll be letting them tension you because the person is always, but the person have started spending that money. Is because they don't have the capacity for it, so they cannot even use it well. The things they do and call investments, they end up what? Not even managing it well. And over time, you see what they're selling, they start selling it. As small, they will sell one land. When they finish acquiring the money, they can't sell another land. And before you know it, they will not come down. And what? Those in the left is now is their Benz and one house. If things get hard, they can even sell that house and move into another person's house. Before you know it, they'll sell their Benz. They'll now start wearing socks and slippers and be taking a drop. So it's very, very important you know this. That what? Unrighteous wealth destroys the owner. Don't allow anybody tension you. If you look for what the legit way of making money is what it's more than sufficient for you. Yes, it will take everything that must be significant must be built. But once you build it, it sustains, it stays. So it's almost midnight. So I think that's the end of this first session. But I really hope you got a lot of things from tonight's session. I really hope you got a lot of things from tonight's session. I did my best to really and like I said, the fact that there's recordings does not mean you should miss sessions because for one of the benefits of being live. Okay, question time. Start asking questions. So Jesus, that means we might have to stay 10 more minutes. Question time. One of the reasons I say you should be in a session live is that what you get to ask questions. That's why I also say that what install the app so you can type in the chat box, because this conference is free, but don't bring any questions to my DM once conference is done. Or yeah, back up to that ego thing. Some people will not ask questions here because they're shy. They don't want people to think that they're dumb, or like foolish excuses. Ask me question. Please don't bring any question to my DM. If you're bringing question to my DM, you have to pay for the answer. So ask the question here. So when I'm answering it, the answer is not benefiting only you, but it's benefiting everyone. Don't bring questions to my DM. If you have a question, ask it here in the chat box and I'll answer it. So question time. Because what some people don't ask questions now, they don't want to ask questions. They want people to think that all knowing and all sufficient. Then later they'll come out. If it comes to my DM, I will send you payment link before I answer your question. Ask it here. When I answer it, I'll give, then everybody would also get the answer to, not just you. It's selfish to do DM things and things like this. Borrowing Brilliance was written by David Codmori. That's who wrote the book. Sharon asked, how do I sell myself as a content writer? That's tomorrow, I think. I'll teach that tomorrow next. If I ask any question about upcoming session, you have to come for the. I don't ask. I'm not about today's session. This question asking is tomorrow's session. I will teach it, and even next tomorrow also. Okay, Emma said, throw more light on zoom out. Zoom out is basically the fact that what don't review yourself on the short term, because when people start building things, especially now, this January now, some people going to go and sign up for the gym and want to do fit farm. Then they'll go that first day. Instead of them to do minimal exercises to warm up their body, they'll go and carry the biggest weight. They do not go and start crying. My body is paining me. Then tomorrow they'll not go to. Some people went to gym only once this year. They've not come back after paying. They went that first day. They think it's by wearing all the kits. They wore Apple Watch. They wore this thing. And they went there. No, it's because it's that massive that I'm coming to work out. So you have to take it slowly first and like build it up. They want to do all the exercise that one day. By the time they're done, they'll not get home and start crying, body pains. So you have to understand that what it's consistency that brings results, not doing something once. You understand? It's consistency that brings results. So Alucard said, how do you fix your ego? Please, those people that are telling you to throw more lights on us, please watch the recording. I'm posting the recording immediately after this session on both YouTube and Mr. So please watch the recording. Please don't take me back. Or I'm answering questions, focusing more on questions that has to do with session. So Alucard said, how do you fix your ego? Because most times it's hard because it's like pride is something that does not help you. See, one of the most deadly things you can be is a proud person. I don't used to be proud before, but I got a deeper revelation of why I should not be proud from when I read that scripture that said that was God resists the proud and give grace to the humble. So when I read that, there's some scriptures you read and pass. Did I necessarily meditating on it? God resists the proud and gives grace to the humble. That means, for example, now if I'm oppressing you now, maybe I'm a lecturer now and I'm failing you when you passed, or I'm meant to give you something and I refuse to give you because I believe I'm in a place that can oppress you. If you go and cry and pray to God, God can deal with me. But if God is the one oppressing you, who are you going to cry to? To come and come and want God, who is the person? So it's helped me God gets an added revelation why what I should not be proud. So if you have pride, and please never the most dangerous prayer you can pray is God does not humble people. That one of the things God cannot do is humble. God does not know. God does not humble people. He humiliates people. You have to humble yourself because what pride reminds God of Satan, because that was what made Satan for pride. So never come to God's presence and say, God, deal with God does not humble people. He humiliates. See what happened to the book. He said, man, he started eating grass. So humility is one of the things you have to teach yourself. Humble yourself. Humble yourself. The Bible say the scripture did not say let God humble you. Say humble yourself. So anything that's making you press, start killing it. Oh, understand that what you are flesh and blood, you are sand. I'm trying all these people that are teasing in the chat box. Let me see questions now. Scrolling up. Okay, Ifeji ask about youths focusing on the skill they already know, like you said. How about people that have more than one passion? I want to create more income streams. Is that valid? Yeah, that's one is the concept of skill layering. I think that's the day two topic. Yes, we are talking about mentors. Is I'll teach you tomorrow on skill layering. There's a way, yes, it does not mean you should abandon those things. The way you can layer different skills to actually earn more and reach more people. So that's tomorrow. I'll teach that tomorrow. Looking for more questions. So if I here, follow this account. This make sure you follow this accounts here. So and if you don't have the first thing, guys, remember how many people here set an alarm for this session? How many people here set that 10:15 p.m. alarm I say they should set? How many people I want to see in the chat box? How many people here set an alarm for this session? So I'll go back to viewing that. Let me answer. Let me scroll up for questions. Scrolling down. Okay, next Nicky said, my question is why building a particular brand? How can you start small without a convincing eye-catching bio, which I think is what attracts. No, your bio is not what attracts your audience. What attracts your audience is your content. You can have a very, very simple bio or not even no bio. Of course, you can describe what you do on your bios. But what attracts your audience is content. Before people even come to your bio, they will have encountered your content. So it's not necessarily. So you can just put a simple explanation of what you do on your bio, but you can study bios other people that really, but it does not. It's not your bio. It's your content that attracts people to you. Okay, this is said. You said it's sad to aim low, but sometimes the unavailability of resources causes people to aim low. How does one overcome this, please? The fact that you have limited resources does not mean you should what. So aim big, then what? After you set big plans, then now break it down. And so what aspect of this plan can I do with the resources I have now? Then you start with that and will scale up. You understand? So it does not mean you should be unrealistic, but dream big, but start with what you have. So you're working towards a big goal, not working towards a small goal because you understand. So aim big, but start with what you have. I'm looking for more questions. Almost 70 chats already. Oh, I hope there are all no questions. Sharon says, will you talk about creating a career / academic balance? I think there's a session where I actually talked expressly on that. Is check the recordings on this. Let me try and see whether I can even locate it once so I can call the name so you can go straight to it because I have up to 66 recordings on this Miss Era. But my past sessions, I've talked on what is MTN doing? I've talked on things like that. Let me duplicate this. Uh, Let me go to Shori. There's a particular, for example, if you there's recordings on this micellar account that I've or from my sessions I did last year, so you can actually listen to them. But the academic balance, I think I'll also talk about it tomorrow. It's under mental mentorship and building discipline. But even if I don't talk about it, ask me a question about it tomorrow. I'll answer. Yes, because this is a very, very big topic. I'm even trying to see whether I can see the recording on this thing so I can call the name. So you can kind of listen to the recording specifically. So scrolling down, uh, okay, I'm not seeing a recording about it, but there's a particular session where I talked about it. I'm trying to see the one, but the name is not revealing anyone. But the other recordings here that you can also so go to the recording sessions, and you're going to this thing. You're going to see past events. So I'm scrolling down for more questions. I'm trying to see the one, but the name is not revealing anyone. Scrolling down. Yes, so a lot of people say they actually set an alarm. And this concept of setting an alarm is something I learned. That's what when you want to learn when you want to do something, it's easier for you to say, I'll do this tomorrow. But it's easy for you to forget, or when that time comes for you. But if you set an alarm for that thing, you are going to what? The probability of it to do is going to be high. There are a lot of people that if you didn't set that alarm for this session, you would have slept off or something, or you would have been offline and forgotten. Then you're not coming to, I missed the session. No. So if you're here listening to my voice, and don't things like this, don't say, I'll do it later. No, do it now. So if you're hearing my voice now and you have not set an alarm, set an alarm for 10:15 p.m. for so now you have to do it for Thursday and Friday since today's already passed. Set a 10:15 p.m. alarm for Thursday and Friday for this. Name it how to start conference. So once the alarm rings you, because what if you don't do it now, you can say that after, do it like now as I'm saying it. Don't say after the conference today and say, I'll do it now, because you might say you do it later, then something else will not carry your attention, and you not forget. Then tomorrow you'll be saying, oh, I wish I did it then. You understand? So setting an alarm. So I do this for every other thing I want to do. Anytime I find myself struggling to set an alarm for something, then I ask myself, are you really meant to do this, or are you really serious about doing this? So if I can't set an alarm for it, I know that I will usually never do it, because for something else might take my attention. Then I'll be working on something else that will take into that time. So learn that thing. Any habits you want to start building, I do it. For example, now I want to learn how to start calling my family members. I know it's a lot of fear. Your mother, your parents complain you don't call them on phone. Set an alarm. It can be 2 days a week. Call parents. Once the alarm ring, call them. Like, be intentional about it. And over time, you see that you want to. And do it for. I do this for everything. That's any important habit I want to build. I set an alarm for it. I pick days and set an alarm. So once the alarm ring, I drop everything and do that. Is This will improve the quality of your ability to do a lot of things. So set a 10:15 p.m. alarm for tomorrow's and next tomorrow's session. Don't say you do it later, do it now. So scrolling down to answer more questions. Scrolling down to answer more questions. All right. I'm trying to, I've missed some questions. CJ, ask your question again. Or I didn't see it when you posted it. How to start a blog tomorrow? Um, Scrolling down. Daniel Dike said, you mentioned something in passing about how talking about your goals will make you not do them. How can you make sure I do it, if not to have people that keep tabs on me? Yes, there's a point where you need people to keep tabs on you, but you find out that most of the things you talk about, you don't. For example, that I find that whenever I buy a book, I make before, even it's easy to buy a book and you post, I bought this book. Now I tell myself that what, you have not started reading that book, or not post it on social media. You understand? Because it's easy to talk about, oh, I want to start doing this. And one is, it's very, very dangerous to talk about your goals, because you not come on status all and say, no, what you can start talking about it after you have started and you have put in work into it. But it's easy for you to come and say, oh, I want to start learning how to do this. Then people come and praise you and call you, Jagaban. Hey. And you have not even started that thing. You have not even achieved anything, but people are already praising you. Then you not feel happy with yourself. You now it creates a kind of short circuit in your brain where you not feel as if you have already done that, but you have not even started. So that's why I thought about that thing. That yeah, not that but make sure that what you have started and you have started anything, even if you want to talk about that thing. But it's not everything. There's a point in life where it's not if you are always seeking external motivation to do everything, then you really need to question what you are doing, whether is what you are really meant to be doing. But there's still a space for accountability. I take accountability very, very serious. I make sure that if that's why for every of my courses, I add an accountability system to every of them, because I know that it goes beyond taking a course. It has to do with what, taking action. So I'm going scrolling through questions. Jero said, I want to make money online. Yes, by the time this conference is done, you learn how to, you know what it takes to earn money online legitimately. Scrolling down, scrolling down. Might say what account should we follow? Follow this. So you are in charge of that, means you have already installed Mixlr. So follow this Elevate Media account, ever upward. Follow this account, so that's what you would be able to get notification once I start. Because after this conference, and I do broadcast here every Wednesday by 10 p.m. So even after this conference, you can still join my sessions. So once I start broadcasting, you get a notification. Trying to see more questions. The challenge of providing valuable content is tomorrow. Uh, Trying to scroll down. This concept of by faith of doing too much or confusing audience. I'll share a video by Seth Godin in the Telegram channel that addresses it well. How to create content tomorrow. Uh, Grace said, "Please, I don't know what I'm doing. I post about brands I worked with, and it's a volunteer post. No, it's not ego. You're showing, you're actually doing unless you're not doing the work. We are doing the work, so it's okay to talk about brands you work with. It's also signals to other people that you also can do that thing. So it's not ego problem. Scrolling down for questions. David said, how can one start practically how can one start afresh? You have to start afresh. It's understanding that what happened in the past does not dictate the future. The past is gone. You can't change it. So move ahead and start again. If it's getting a different mentor, if it's trying a different approach, but if it's something that you really don't, if it's something you really want to do, don't. And especially people do it especially with age. They think they're too old to start learning something. But I saw last month, I saw a 52-year-old man that's learning how to code. But there's some people that are 30, 40, 25, they think they're too old to start learning. So what if it's something you really want to do, just start. Start. Scrolling down for questions. How can one create content tomorrow? Okay, guys, I think that's all for today. Royalty said, how can you start multiple businesses at this? It depends on the kind of businesses. So your question is not really if it's you talk about the different businesses you are trying to start, then I'll know how to answer you. Casing, your question will be answered on content, copying, and all answer tomorrow. Anything about creating content tomorrow. Anything about creating content is tomorrow. Uh, so I have something I'm starting on my blog where I'm taking this thing, where I'm taking questions from community members and using it because I don't want to just be writing blog posts for the sake of it. I want to be actually creating blog posts that actually answer questions of people. So even if I don't get to answer your question in this conference, before this year or I will eventually answer it one way or the other. So I'm going to put from next week, I'll start putting out a form. So people in that form, people will fill questions that blog posts they want me to write. Since they want me to write on, then I'll do polls on it to pick the ones to understand. So I believe over time you will get in-depth articles on most of these things. So I think that's all for tonight. I think that's all for tonight. So make sure that you're on the Telegram channel. I'm posting a lot of resources there. The ones I remember. I don't remember. Somebody on my WhatsApp come and remind me that this thing. For my blog, okay, I'm trying to set up a newsletter, but for now, you can follow me on WhatsApp. So I'll post my WhatsApp link in the Telegram channel, so you can follow my status update. But I'm trying to set up a newsletter again so that I'm sending out content. But my blog is, I also send my blog link in the. I'm already sharing a blog post in the Telegram channel, so automatically you get my blog, the URL of my blog. So can we get to 1,000 hearts? We're currently at 698 hearts. Can we get to 1,000 hearts tonight before the session ends? So make sure you are following us here. So let me see how many people are following. Before we had around 900 followers before we started. 912, 900, currently 959. Okay. Let's also see whether I can get to 1,000 followers for the accounts tonight. Okay. So, guys, I had a marvelous first day. I believe you all did. I would, yes, Sam, you have been campaigning for us. You did well. So, also, I will also be uploading this session to my YouTube channel. So, even if you miss something, you can go back and watch it over time. So, Father, we thank you for tonight's session. We thank you for everyone. We Thank you for all that was learned. To give everyone here the grace, not just to be hearers alone, but also doers of all that I've learned. We ask for this grace in Jesus' name. Amen. So, good night, everyone.